the second time I've made this video, because the first time I had the dang microphone on mute, so I sat there and I gave this long tutorial, and nothing I said was recorded. So I'm just going to do this again real quick for friends and family so they can see what happens if I get bored. Long story short, I had food poisoning yesterday and I got sent home from work because, you know, they're paranoid as all hell right now. If you're any kind of sick, they assume it's COVID or something. So I ended up expanding my chest room even more. So here we go. We'll just go down and check it out. So get to the entrance here. So yeah, I was explaining a lot of this stuff. So this is the entrance to the chest room, and so basically what I do is when I go on my journeys and I just travel and I collect, I keep everything I collect in the black ones, everything in the white ones is stuff I can use while I'm out on these ventures to stay alive, to build buildings and whatever else I need to do. But then, so what I do is I just fill these up with stuff while I'm out and about, and then what I'll do is I'll just come in here and I'll just toss everything I collected into these chests. So that's basically what all this is for. This is all just so when I get back from going out on my adventures, I can just empty my inventory. And so I'll throw the chests, the shulker chests up on the wall here, and then just empty them into the chest here. And then eventually, when I get really bored, because I hate doing it, it's tedious, but I do it, I keep up on it, is I will empty all of these chests into the inventory room and put them in their proper chest. So the original chest room actually started here, and this used to be a wall. None of this used to be here. It used to just be this area here to the wall there, and that's all it was. And then basically, like, there would be an expansion, there'd be more materials added, because basically I have a chest for every single item harvestable on the map. And then they added some more items, so then I added this little room here just to add the additional items that were added in the game. And then just kind of slowly progressed from there. And then when shulker chests came into play, I went to town with shulker chests. I love shulker chests. And so I added this little room on, then added a brewing room, and this is where, like, you would store all of the potions. And then up above here is all of the materials needed to make the potions. But then I decided to really start just adding on to the chest room, and so I ended up making this addition here. And I don't know why I did it bulk storage style, because I really have no idea. I might have to end up changing that and taking all of these chests out and then just doing it more like the old style here that I have. Uh, and then I ended up expanding this even further. And these are all shulker chests, by the way. Most of the ceilings and the walls and everything will be shulker chests. I just kind of expanded it into a little upstairs area. And then I added the downstairs. This is where like you'll see a lot of the newer items. And I know a lot of this is going to look unfamiliar, and that's because of the texture pack that I have. I love this texture pack. This is crying obsidian, and it changes colors. Well, even just in your inventory here, but I love this block. I wish I could find more of this stuff, but it's really hard to come by, and so it sucks, but I just gotta keep collecting it, and eventually I'll build a building out of it, because I just love the way it looks. I also love the gilded black stone. I love the way that looks. I want to collect more of that and use it as flooring. And then I added a room here just for being able to repair all my tools and stuff. It's just basically filled with anvils. And I mean, it's filled all the way to the ceiling. I know you can't really see it, but there's a lot of anvils in there. It's actually a large room. You just can't see it. It's not just these little rows. It goes way back, and it goes back that way. And that's when I added this room. This room was the next add was this room here, and I was eventually going to have it branch off into this direction or this direction, but then I just capped them off because I started running into other stuff that I had built. But that's when this is the one I just did the other day, or yesterday, I should say. So this is the one that I added yesterday. I dug this out, dug it down, chested the whole room, and then itemized chested the walls. So I should be able to store, and then these are like, if I like bows, for example, I have so many bows. I could easily fill all these chests with the bows that I have, that you get from mod drops. And before one of the, more recent updates, I shouldn't say more recent. They used to always just drop bows, but now they drop like weak and almost dead bows and stuff like that. But they used to just drop bows, so I just have like chests full of like enchanted bows and enchanted fishing poles. I catch those all the time. I do a lot of fishing, and so anyway, I just have. And then like I have spawners, and so I have never-ending amount of arrows that I need to store, and so that's what that bulk storage kind of stuff comes into play. I added this room just a few days before the other one, and once again, it's just it's going to be a nice itemized storage for whenever they do updates. That way I can always have somewhere to add. And like I said, when I run out of a chest in the main room, I can always come in down here and start a new chest of the same items. So there are chests where, like redstone dust, you might find a redstone dust chest up in the main room, but it might be full, and so I start another one down here, I think, because a lot of the items in the game, you can only stack 16, not 64, and so there's just a lot of times where you're going to need multiple chests. So this used to be hidden. As far as this used to open I don't know if the mechanics are still back there or not. Yeah, so you know the pistons. So this would close and the mechanism went all the way through, and there used to be a switch in the wall that used to be there. And then this is where I used to like when the game first came out. This was my hidden, like, the good stuff, you know. And this was before really anything in the game. There's very few blocks at that point in time, but that was certainly before I kept this a solo map. I used to allow people to play on this map, and now it's just me because, you know, I've had people. So basically, there's this dipshit little kid that I would allow to play on my map, and he decided to grief me one day, just to be a little shit, and he destroyed a lot of stuff on my map. He actually went in, this was before you could reset the nether, he went in and destroyed the blaze spawners. He then went to every village on the tiny map, which was only 2 villages, and he killed all the villagers and whatnot, and then destroyed some of my towers. And so I just decided at that point in time I was no longer going to allow people onto this map, and which is fine by me because I don't like people building stuff on this map anyway, because it's my map. I don't like the way I got it, and you know, I've let people build on here before, and their buildings, I just don't like them, and it doesn't fit with the city-like look. But yeah, so that's my main chest room. I have other archives, of course. I have chest rooms like that, but nowhere near that. Basically, it's just a room with a bunch of chests. But that one's definitely the one I've spent most of my time on, and contains 90% of all the materials gathered, because I do bring everything back to that room. And almost every chest in the main area, at least, is completely filled. Damn you. Stay off my food. But yeah, so that was my chest room. Yayo. And I kind of got bored working on that project, so I've just been kind of wandering around and playing a little and killing animals, because I get a little too bored if I spend too much time building one project. So anywho, that is my chest room. What the where did that come from? Alright. Random, because my archery area is over here. So I'm not sure how that arrow ended up over there. But my archery area is right here. And this isn't even my original archery. See, when the map first came out, man, you didn't have much room. It was a tiny map. And so I have a lot of stuff built underground. And I don't spend much time underground anymore, especially since I've built this city now. There's a few thousand buildings here, and I just don't spend that much time underground anymore. And a lot of what is underground used to be really strenuous to get to, but now it's just like, it's just all kind of under the city. And it's not the hardest to get to, but it's like, before my little, like, go-to place, I dug this down, but before this was dug down, you know, you'd have to go through some of my tunnels. And right now, you know, we're not even that far from the chest room. Yeah, like that. And so one of my first spawners is actually up here, and that's why this was all built down here, was the spawners right above us. And so I just wanted a safe area. Oh my god. And I don't know how many people actually remember these things. This is a transmutation device. It allows you to change blocks into different blocks. This was the first part of the game when you did not have a wide variety of blocks at all. You could cheat and use the transmutation device, and it would change the blocks into blocks that were technically not readily available in the game yet. And that included the following. I'll show you here. Oops. So this is my original transmutation device. So basically, you could, if you put it in a piece of wood, and you had the block of water here, it would change it into a sideways block. But at the time, it was an invisible block. And then birch wood wasn't even available, and so it would turn it into birch. It would turn it into this and that and this and that. And it would also change the colors of the wool. And so, you know, before they had the ability to do that, it would actually create these items with a transmutation device, just using so you put whatever you'd want here to change, and the device would change it. So like I said, this didn't used to be sideways wood. It used to be an invisible block that you could see through. So I made this whole floor, and you could see through the whole floor, and I would use it to find pockets of resources and whatnot. But then once they updated it and it turned into sideways wood, I just said, okay, well, and I just ended up doing this back wall and turned it into an archery range. And so I would just practice shooting my bow different distances while moving around, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. This used to be a hidden wall, so there's actually I don't even remember. Oh, I just kind of want it to blend in. But okay, so this is where the wall would come apart, is these two here. And then this was also a secret chest room. And I used to have like all the good stuff in here. And then another, like the other way to get out of here or into here was through here, and then this was the way to the spawn room. This was the first spawn room, and this is like one of those things where it used to be way different, and then with updates, I had to make some changes because basically they used to drop here, go down here, go all the way down here, and then this would come up, and they used to be right here. And the water, they would float in water, so it would go down and it would float them up, and then I would kill them. But now they just don't float, so basically I have it set up now where I can go down and they're sitting there, and then they just drop down and I can kill them. But this is like a prime example of where I have just a ton of these resources because we used to just sit here and harvest this all day long, and I would spend hours just killing skeletons, and so I have just and like, so you can see, like, this is after the update where they just drop shit bows that are almost gone. And so yeah, that's, and like I said, this isn't that far from the chest room. And if people are wondering, why do I have pistons right there? So pistons hold the door open longer. Well, they used to. If you had a piston there like that, it would hold the door open for much longer than if you just press the button. So as you can see, my chest room's just right here. So it's not that far. Up there's the main building. And of course my tunnel system. These tunnels go throughout the entire map. If I took you on a tour of the tunnels, it would be a 8-hour video of the most boring rail riding adventure you'd ever see. There was one tunnel I dug that took months of continuous digging, hour a day, and it just goes out in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and why, I don't know, but alright, well, talked way longer than I planned to, and I showed way more than I intended, but yeah, chest room shenanigans.